Hey gang, it's Bryan from FXBilliards. Today we're going to talk about practice, particularly for beginners and low intermediate players. There are three things that beginners do wrong and low intermediate players do wrong when it comes to practice. Number one mistake is not practicing at all. If you're not practicing, you will not get better. I'm here to tell you, anyone who watches this channel knows that playing is not practicing. There is not a team in the world, not an athlete in the world who plays their sport all the time. You spend about 80–90% of your time practicing and about 10% of your time actually playing. So if you're not willing to practice, you are not going to get better at this game. I'm sorry. So that's the number one thing. Let's get that out of the way. Number two thing is not knowing how to practice. What should you be practicing? What should you be doing when you do take the time to get on the table and practice? Along with the third thing, how to put together a practice session. If you don't have a structured practice, you're just going to go on a tangent. You're going to end up just doing whatever you want, and you're not going to get better that way either. As much as it is fun to practice with another individual, it can be very dangerous. Because if the other individual does not have the same goals that you have, then you are not going to achieve your goals. You will improve much faster if you practice alone as opposed to with another person. If you practice with another person who is not a qualified instructor, who is not helping you make your game better, then you are moving backwards. So today I'm going to talk about three different phases of your practice sessions. Phase one will be what I call break and run drills. We are just going to break them and shoot them off in any order. This is how you're going to start your practice session. This is your opportunity to learn more patterns, more problem solving, more of everything. Work on your stroke, your stance, your follow through. All of that takes place here, because when we get to phase two and phase three, you should already be warmed up and already have practiced your stance, your follow through, your bridge, and things like that before you get to stage two. But right now, I'm just going to show you how to do a break and run drill. I do 5 of these. I actually keep score of everything that I do in my practice sessions. But you will do anywhere from 2 to 5 of these before every practice. So run at least 2 of these, but you don't have to do 5 because it may take you much, much longer than 30 minutes to do 5. So we're going to break these balls and shoot them off in no particular order. You may notice that I put the 8 ball in the middle. That's just out of habit. The 8 ball, the stripes, the lows have no significance when you're doing this. All we're doing is breaking the balls up and shooting them off in any order. This is very important because it allows you to work on your stroke, your stance, your bridge, all of the things that you want to work on. I'm going to talk you through this so you know what I'm thinking as I shoot them off, but you're trying to play position as much as possible. You may hear me talk about 3 balls ahead. If you can only play 2 balls ahead right now or just the next ball, that's understandable. It's okay. You will get better and better at this. Now, I have some shots. I'm going to be playing the 5 ball, but not because it's the easiest shot, but because it puts me on the 13. These are what we call connected balls. You'll hear us talk a lot about this. I did an entire video just for beginners on running racks, and one of the things we talk about is identifying connected balls. What does that mean? It means if I play the 5, it automatically gives me the 13. I don't have to do anything but a stop shot. The 13 is connected to the 15. The 15 is connected to the 6. Do you see how we're running out? We already know our next 4, possibly 7 shots. But if things happen to change, then we are going to call an audible and shoot them in a different order. And when I say things change, if I don't get in the position that I want for the 13, or something else looks better, then what we're going to do is we're going to change it up. So right now we're going to shoot our 5, and this is the pattern I'm looking at, just so you have an idea. Again, we may need to change it up. but we're going 5, 13, 15, 6, most likely from the 6 to the 7, possibly to 12, but I like to get to 7 while I'm down there, so I'm going to say 5, 13, 15, 6, 7, and maybe put this 7 on this 12 ball after I make it. That will help me transition back down this end of the table. So let's shoot them. Do you see that I'm just shooting a couple stop shots and shots where I can roll the ball in? That's how these balls are connected. You want to be able to identify this. Now, I got an angle on this 6 ball so that I can draw back and get on the 7 like we talked about. And also, guys, it should be noted that just because I called those out, I'm still going 3 balls ahead. So while I'm shooting the 6, I'm thinking 6, 7, 12, 8. I'm already ahead of the game there. So you need to constantly move your 3 balls or your 4 balls or whatever you're able to figure out after each and every shot. So we're going to play right now 7, 12, 10, 8. Those are our next shots. Right now we're going 12, 10, 8, most likely the 11 or the 4 to get us down table. Doesn't mean, again, that I'm going to stick with that, but that's what I'm thinking as I shoot these off. If I go 10, I can roll forward and get on the 8. Remember, the 8 has no special significance. And also notice that I cleaned up this end of the table, and then I'll work at the other end of the table. If you're shooting back and forth, up and down the table, even on bar boxes, even on a 7-foot table, you're doing something wrong. Occasionally, we will get out of position, or another opportunity will present itself at the other end of the table that we should take care of. But in most cases, you don't want to have shots that are going up and down the table. So keep that in mind. Notice, even though I'm on this 8 ball, I'm looking at other shots. Does it make sense for me to right now to shoot the 9 or the 4? No, the 8 still looks like my best shot. So I'm going to use the 8, and then most likely the 11 would be my primary shot I would like to shoot next, or the 4 ball. Now this shot here is a little exotic because I'm going to draw it back and bounce off the rail. And our 8 gets hung up, but that's okay. If you miss, leave it on the table. Don't worry about it. So we intended to get on the 4, which we can make, the 11, which we can make, but looking at this, we are also on the 2. Now, most beginner players are going to shoot that 8 ball right now. And I understand, and it's okay. You can shoot the 8 ball. I'm going to leave it there because it is what we call a very good insurance shot. An insurance shot is a ball that we can make from just about anywhere in case I get screwed up on my position. I'm not always going to play perfect position. So even though we rattled and left that ball there, I'm not going to shoot it in yet. I am going to shoot the 2 ball because the 2 is connected to the 1, which connects me to a lot of other things down there. So there's our 2 connected to the 1. If I liked my position on the 11 more, then I would have shot that next. We have a little angle on the 1. It does not easily put us on anything else, but we're going to roll out to get on the 11. So now we have a shot, not on the 11 like I wanted, but this is what I was talking about earlier. I am slightly behind this ball, but I can't get to the 8 either. There's an easy combination 4 to the 8, but I don't need to shoot it because I am on the 9. But that's a reason why, okay? I am millimeters behind this 4 ball that are going to keep me from being able to make the 11. But in a perfect world, if the 4 was blocking me, I would have the 8. So let's shoot these off. we're going to go, we're looking at 9, 11, 4, 8. And notice the easiest shot is the last shot that I'm looking at, but it doesn't mean that I'm not going to have to shoot it earlier. I'd shoot it now, right now, if I could, if I had a decent position on it. So there's our 9, which puts us on the 11. We don't have a layup on this 11 to the 4. Making the 11 is easy enough, but getting on the 4 afterwards, because of the angle I have, is not going to be a layup. So I have a choice. Do I play the 8 now and try to get better position on everything, or do I play the 11 knowing that I'm going to be out of position and not be able to get on the 4? I am going to play the 8 and try to get better position so that my last 2 shots are easier. This is not as easy as it looks. That 8 was deep in the pocket, which is the reason why I couldn't use it to get out here. Now you guys can't see, but I am being obstructed by a tripod over here. So playing the 8 made a lot of sense at that time, because even though this is a long shot you guys did not want to have to take, that ball was connected to the 11. Just by making the 4, I got a layup on the 11. So I call that the allocation of risk. What was more risky, playing the 11 and then trying to get on the 4, or knowing that I was going to make the 8, which was connected to the 4, which is connected to the 11? So you don't need to get into allocation of risk. You don't need to run an entire rack like I did. Well, I think I missed one. Yeah, I missed one. Count how many times you miss. It may be 1. It may be 40. It's okay. All you're looking to do is to do better the next time you do it. So that's our break and run. I shoot 5 of those at every practice session, but you don't need to run 5. The way I structure a practice session for a beginner or low intermediate player is different than what I do for an advanced player. If you're an advanced player, I would recommend taking this second portion and shooting 9-ball racks in rotation. So you're going to shoot in numerical order just like you're playing 9-ball. Break and run 9-ball racks, even if you're not a 9-ball player. This is going to help your 8-ball game, your straight pool game, a lot of your games. So if you're an advanced player, section 2 of this would be to shoot balls off in rotation. Now, low intermediate players and beginner players, because this video is really focused towards you, what you're going to do is shoot off 3 balls, 4 balls, 5 balls in any order and play position. So let's see what this looks like. If we toss 4 or 5 balls out on the table, and for a lot of you, 3 balls is going to be enough. Whatever happens, it's hard to keep them on the table, by the way. Whatever happens, we're going to shoot off. You're going to take ball in hand, or you're going to just shoot from wherever the ball lies and work from there. It doesn't matter. We managed to keep them all on the table this time. All right, so make a case for what you're doing. If you had to sell me on your position, would you say, Bryan, I'm shooting the 13 now because it's in a bad position, it doesn't go in the side, and it will put me on the 10. You did a good job of selling me on the shot. If you tell me, hey, Bryan, I'm going to play the 10 right now because it'll bring me over here and give me a chance to make the 4, then you sold me on the shot. But don't just get down and shoot them off. I know a lot of times it looks like we're just randomly shooting these balls and without giving thought to it. The only difference between you and me is I've done a lot more of them, so I can solve the puzzle a little bit quicker than you. But there is a reason to shoot this ball, in that it puts me on this ball, which puts me on that ball. Now, I'm going to get a little fancy to play that 11 because I don't want to play it all the way down. So I'm going to get on the 11 in the same pocket. But you probably don't have that shot in your game yet. But you will eventually. If I didn't have a tripod over there, I would have shot the 11 down here. But you get the point. Throw 5 balls out, shoot them off the same way you did your 15, and then you can shoot 6 and 7 and 8, but have a race to 10. The 5 balls against you, the 4 balls, the 3 balls, whatever it is, that's what you're going to do, is position play. the last thing you're going to do, the last portion, and by the way, portion 2 and 3, you can switch the orders if you like, but the last one is going to be all about shot making. Taking the cue ball, taking an object ball, and shooting balls in the pocket. So let's take a look. Part 3 of your practice session is going to be made up of a number of different drills. It is not going to be about this shot. It is going to be about taking ball in hand, putting a string of balls along this diamond and shooting the long way and into the corner pocket. When you can do this and it becomes too easy for you, you're going to start slowly moving your object ball out. And eventually you're going to get to that distance where they're 7 diamonds away and you can shoot the straight in shot. Do not go from the 2nd diamond to the 3rd diamond to the pocket. Make your increments at least half a diamond. For many of you, it would make sense to go quarter diamonds. I don't want to find out, because I'll be looking, that you can't make this shot where you're getting down on it 2.5 diamonds away, but you spent 2 hours shooting this shot where you have to go all the way down table. Guys, one of the reasons low intermediate players stay low intermediate players is because they're trying to jump over a 7-foot high bar and they haven't cleared 4 feet yet. You have got to work your way up through progression on these drills. We have other videos which I will put the links to in this video, in the description of this video, or maybe even the comment section, that will help you out with beginner drills. Do the beginner drills. Each of the ones that I give you are going to allow you to work on your shot making, work on your position, and slightly increase the difficulty as you go. Please, you are wasting your time if you jump from 0 to 60 on these things and say, I don't understand why I can't shoot a 7-foot draw shot. Have a great day. Hit the subscribe button. If you're not already a member of FXB TV, you should check it out. There's a lot of videos like this. There's an entire section that is dedicated to the beginner and low intermediate player. All of our master classes are on there. It is a Netflix for FXBilliards. Everything is on demand. You pay one price per month and you will have access to all of our master classes and a bunch of videos that will never be put up on YouTube, and some that are up on YouTube, but you will see the director's cuts. That means there's going to be shots, positions, strategies, and outtakes that you didn't see on YouTube. I hope you guys will check it out. It's going to be outstanding, and we're very proud of it, and I'll talk to you soon. In the meantime, subscribe to this channel.